So if you clicked on this video, you're looking to find out what we hate about our Equinox EV. Well, first of all, we're going to say we really don't hate anything. That's such a strong word. It is dislike, but that doesn't view as well. So please stay tuned, watch all of this video, because we're going to talk about some things that just aren't perfect with the Equinox EV in our eyes, some things that we dislike.
Some things that we don't love is what we focused on. So we've had this for 8 months, which is crazy to say. That is a long time, but it's taken us this long to make this video because we've really lived with it. We just like enjoyed it in our daily lives. We've experienced things, and all along the way, we've made notes about those little things that we didn't like. We also made notes all about the little things that we love. I feel good about saying that word.
Yeah, watch that video because there are a lot of things that we love about this.
There's a ton of things we love.
Still really happy that we have this and that we can drive it. Yeah, you guys know, I mean, we don't make dumb decisions. We put a lot of thought into getting this, and we really do like it. But as with any car, I think any car out there, you can find things that you don't like. You know, if you're in a Corvette, you're like, there's no back seat. I hate that. You know, so whatever.
Yeah, totally. So stick around. We're going to tell you all the things we hate about our Equinox EV. The number one most annoying thing that I dislike about the Equinox EV is the dash glare, which you cannot see right now because we have a glare mat. I'll put a link to this down below. I think I tend not to say that this is an essential with things because it's all your opinion, but I do think that this is an essential because the dash glare is so bad. As in when we were in the RS last year testing it out, I like at one point couldn't see the road. It was so bad.
Certain times of the day it gets really hard to see. This helps tremendously, but I wish we didn't have to use that. And we have ours taped down, but we don't have it fully taped. So it's sort of like if you get one, make sure you tape it down, or else you can dislodge it. But
yeah, we dislodge it a lot. We're going to tape it down again more. They have other colors. I really wish that there was one that sort of blended in with the cabin a bit more. So it sucks to have something that's just such a clash. But it's a great car with that big caveat that I think you really need that dash pad because of the glare. I've heard that this is a Chevy thing. I've heard people say in response to the Equinox EV that the Bolts had that. I think I've heard that the Blazer has that too.
I'm not sure, but I know part of it is just like the angle of the windshield. You can see the angle is pretty good.
And let's see if I can show you. Can you see those ridges? So that's what shows up in the glare. You know what? Let's just see. No, yeah, you can sort of see that. It's not a bad time of day though, but.
Yeah, it won't show up like, it just depends on where the sun is at. So anyways, yeah, but get the dash pad and you're okay.
You're all good. Another thing that I hate / dislike about the Equinox EV, we'll just say dislike, hate is a hard word, but that is that because of the horizontal screen, the steering wheel covers some of the essential buttons. So exactly as I'm sitting right now, which is pretty much as someone drives, you can't see a whole bunch of the buttons, including the headlight, turning the vehicle on and off. And in our case, one of the more important ones, the one pedal mode, which is that little button there. So we switch this on and off all the time. And I think it would just be nice to be able to see that, like maybe if it was further on the screen, because it's something that we switch often between drivers. So that is just one little quirk of the horizontal screen and the placement of the screen right here underneath the buttons, that you cannot see any of these buttons at all.
And it's really just sort of the horizontal layout, because also like I can't see when I'm driving even that knob. So it's like, I know there's a fairly decent sized volume knob right there, but I gotta like lean slightly. It's not that big of a deal, but I also worry like if I'm just reaching and I can't see, like I don't want to hit one of those other buttons. But
and yeah, I try to remind myself, I'll get in the car, and if Patrick drove, I'll get a little fright when it's in one pedal mode and I'm backing up. So I try to remember like, oh, okay, and switch. I just build that habit more because that's what I have to do every single time I get in the car and I switch out of one pedal, and it's just like, it's just movement. So be aware that you cannot see that portion of the screen.
And I won't say I hate it. The horizontal is just more of the bad layout, but I do prefer a vertical screen when I have the map over here. And the reason for that is like, if you see like right here, this is like a route I just put in. I would, like, if it was a vertical screen, I think I would be closer, but now it's like all of this here and all of that there is not really useful information to me. I just like a vertical screen because of, you know, the layout for navigation, but I wouldn't say I hate it, but you know, it's all right.
You prefer a horizontal, a vertical screen to a horizontal. Let us know what your preference is, because everyone has a different preference. I think this is pretty cool. Obviously, the Kia vehicles, the Hyundai vehicles, they have kind of a similar layout, really. And the mode that we're in right now, you have to watch our love video, because we do have a lot that we love about this vehicle. So if you didn't know, we have a good love video. So check that out. But it's, even though you have the horizontal screen, you do still get the zoomed in feature on your instrument cluster, which is cool.
Oh, and even though this is our dislike, what I like about this layout is like we can have the close-up directions there, but then over here, I can change their perspective. So like that's a close-up view that mimics the one over on the left. But what I generally do is I have like my overall route here. So like general route over on the right, and then my like next turn over on the left. So this is a dislike video, but we like that. So anyway, sorry. We do like a lot about this car.
We do. The next thing that I don't love, I guess that's actually a better way to say it, is I don't love.
Yeah.
Right?
Hate is such a better clickbait title, but
yeah. So something that I don't love about this cabin is the center console is a bit invasive. So it's just like quite in your way. And I think you can see that. I know my mug looks ridiculous, but this is by my side always. I'm never without this. And in this cabin, because the center console is quite large, this is really in the way. And now I have to put it in this forward one, because if I put it in the back one, it's like in the way of our arms and stuff. So I always put it there. But even as we started filming, Patrick was like, can you move this? And I was like, it's here for a reason, because it is in the way, and that's the nature of this cabin. So the center console it's quite, I don't know, it's quite raised, it's quite large. You have a front and back cup holder, which if you guys have watched us much, you might know that I love a side-by-side, because then your passenger and the driver both have their priority, they both have their space. So that is really something about this cabin, is that it is very driver focused. I think you'll notice that everything is tilted towards me as the driver. I'm often the driver of this vehicle, so I don't mind it, but as a passenger, it really pisses me off. And one of the things that I don't love, I really like saying that now, is that this is how the center console opens.
Let me show you my view.
So that's the only way that it opens. As the driver, I can see everything that's in here. By the by, I have this smashy tool by Spigen. They sent these to us. So if you heaven forbid, have to like smash your way out of the window, this is a tool to do that. So anyways, I can see everything that's in here, but the passenger cannot. I also have like an easy, simple, ergonomic button to open this. But it bugs me that it doesn't just open like that. Like, I want it to open like that. Why doesn't it? Then the passenger and the driver can both have easy access.
And going back to the volume knob again, it doesn't seem like a big deal, but I really got to lean forward as the passenger to do the volume knob. And I sort of think it's funny because like we have, the volume controls for the driver behind the steering wheel. So there is a way to quickly do that. But for the passenger, every time it's like, and Liv is usually the one doing that. Sometimes I am, because she drives this car a lot.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll do a comparison video with our Mach-E, but it has the volume knob like in the center. So that's at least a little bit like I wouldn't even have to, like right now I'm not leaning forward, but yeah. Yeah.
So this goes for all sorts of vehicles. You can tell when some of them are driver focused and some of them are very equal. So For example, the Mach-E, and we will have a dedicated video on Mach-E versus Equinox EV. So the Mach-E is very equal. The screen is in the center, the buttons are in the center, the vents are the same on either side, the cup holders are either side, and you can open the center console in the center. So it's a very equal cabin. The Equinox is not. There are a lot of vehicles that are not equal, that are driver focused. And if you're the driver and you're getting the vehicle, that's fine. This may be what you like, but there are just a couple things like this console that bug me. And if this wasn't so driver focused, that wouldn't be the case.
And it goes back to like this screen is just slightly tilted, which isn't that big of a deal, but I got to reach pretty far over. But then if I want to type on the screen as the passenger, because it'll say like, do you want to override doing just voice only because you're driving, and it's like, are you the passenger? Like, yes. But then it's like it's tilted in like a little bit of an odd angle. So that's enough on that.
Another thing that I don't love about the Equinox EV is not related directly to the Equinox EV. It's sort of the Chevy partnership with OnStar. OnStar, we're not even paying for the special OnStar thing or whatever, but it's very deceptive and super opaque. The amount of people that I've seen questioning, what do I get? What plan do I have? Do I have to pay for this? What can I do with OnStar and what's available? And what was available in 2024 Equinox EVs is different to what's available on the 2025s, and everyone sort of has a different package, and the amount of years that you get. It's not simple, and it's quite it's quite opaque, and you have to go through OnStar to do this. And if you've ever gone through OnStar, they're not great. Don't give them their your credit card necessarily. I think you've used OnStar, haven't you, Patrick?
Let me flip around just a bit. I've always heard about OnStar. I've had like relatives that had OnStar, and I was like, that's so cool. And they advertise because it has the like emergency thing. Like if you get locked out of your car, you can just call OnStar and they can unlock the car for you. So it has some cool features. I didn't realize how confusing like the costs are. And it's not just OnStar, it's because there's connectivity with the car. And it's like, it's a little bit confusing. And we were trying to search when we were doing our initial, like we bought a Equinox video, and like we left that out of the video because I'm like, I can't figure out exactly what do we get for 3 years versus 8 years.
And then we did figure it out, but we never made an updated video. So I'm sorry for everyone that we've seen who's going through the exact same thing. They purchased their Equinox EV and they don't know what the plans are, because like Patrick said, we have to have data connectivity plans. This is an Android automotive system. So you have the connectivity that you sort of have to have in order for the system to work, because you cannot use your phone and the data on your phone just by itself, although you can. But it's
so that's why I was like trying
complex.
to say it's not all related to OnStar. It's OnStar / Chevy / GM connectivity, because it's like, do we get traffic if like we know that we didn't activate OnStar, so we actually we thought we had to do OnStar to get the like mapping to work, but no, it's the connectivity that comes with the car. But then we're like, well, we want to use YouTube Music. Is that streaming? Is that 3 years? Is it 8 years? All of that is confusing. The pricing is confusing. OnStar seems a bit pricey for what it is, which is why we didn't do it. But if you have any insights, if you've come up with a definitive source that's like, it reminds me of the old days when you had like these, buy 12 CDs for $1, and then you get like a monthly subscription, and all of a sudden you're like, wait a second, now I got to pay $40 a month for a CD or 2 CDs or something like that. Then you're like, I thought it was going to be cheap, but it's really expensive. It feels like OnStar is the same way, that it has some really cool features, but it's sort of that subscription just throws me.
Yeah, and I'm trying to remember because it has been 8 months, but I think we have like 3 years of the connectivity data, and then afterwards you have to pay to use live maps, I think. There is a link, I think, as well, that you can go to that gets you to your Chevy account, where you can see what is attached to your vehicle. If I find that link, I will, or if we do, we'll put that down below, so that could hopefully help you. Yes.
Should we just roll right into like the connection there? We put in our like video that we like the Android automotive system. We're Android users, so I like the system. I like the maps. I like having YouTube Music built in. But we know this is probably like one of the biggest things. I bet if you watched it or are watching this video, you probably thought we were going to start with this. One of the biggest things that people don't like about the Equinox is no CarPlay and no Android Auto. And it bugs us too, even though we love Android operating system on our phones. It bugs me because like right now is actually a perfect example. I'll just sort of show you the display. So if you notice up here, I don't know if you can see that, there's the L. That means the car connected to Live, and it doesn't switch. It just goes back and forth based off of who taps, you know, the icon. So Live used it last, but my Bluetooth connected because I got in the car first. So I just got a text from my kid, and it popped up, and it's like a little bit confusing because it's like it's still just using Bluetooth for like messaging and phone calls. And we've had that multiple times where like Liv gets a phone call, but I'm connected. So she's like, wait a second, whose phone is ringing? Is that mine or is that yours?
Which is actually honestly super annoying. So yeah, as Android users, yes, we've been okay with having Google built in. As Patrick adjusts the camera, I'm gonna go poop. So we've been okay having the Google built in the Android Automotive because we are Android users. But yes, we would absolutely prefer the ability to use Android Auto and Apple CarPlay, even if it was wired, to be totally honest, because it's nice to have options. I don't like when anything is closed off at all. So it should all be inclusive, and we should be allowed to use that. So I don't like that. I don't love this.
There's so many reasons. I'm sure a lot of you have the same issue, and this has been like one of the biggest things. Even as Android people, like I don't like that it's like my messages are not connected to, you know, the Android Auto that's like integrated in. Even things like the music, like it remembers what song I was playing last in the car. But I like with Android Auto, it's like if I'm listening to a song at my desk and I hop in, as soon as I connect, it could continue playing that song. Little things like that I think make a huge difference. And just because it's not switching back and forth between our profiles, that's also a little bit of an issue, which is resolved by like Android Auto, because we've had a couple of times where like I'm searching or Liv's searching for like where we're gonna go, then we hop in the car and it's just like, it's in my profile, so it's not in the recents history. So like with Android Auto, it's like if I'm driving and I was searching, or she can message it to me. It's just little things like that. I don't know. We're not explaining it necessarily quite well, but there's just like a lot of little things that make it. I wish we had Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. And for people that have Apple phones, like, yeah, you don't have Apple Music, you don't have your familiar operating system. It can be frustrating. I think Google Maps is great, but I still like Android Auto with Google Maps versus it built in.
Yeah, even us as the demographic who would be okay with this, we use Google Music all the time, or YouTube Music all the time. We use Android phones. Even so, it's annoying, and I wish it were different. Moving right along to something else that I don't quite love, and this is just specific to this trim. On higher trims, it's not the case, but it's the fact that this trim, nothing is attached to our profiles. Nothing. Not your ambient lighting, not your seating. There's no memory seating. Not the fact that I like 2-pedal mode and Patrick likes 1-pedal mode. So we're in my profile right now. You see the little L over there, and we can hop into Patrick's. We can have a guest, add a profile and everything, which is great. But it doesn't matter at all. Nothing is attached. So we can have a cool drive mode. We can have my mode, but it's for the car with this trim. If you have, I'm not even sure. If you have the 3LT, you have to let us know what that's like. If you have any of the higher trims, I do believe that you get, I think it's just the highest trim, then you get the memory. I think you get dual zone climate control, stuff like that, which would be super sweet. So we are talking about the 2LT, and we don't have anything tied to your profile, which is a bummer. So be aware of the different trims of the Equinox EV and how important that is to you. The things that are most important to me were that this is a powered seat. So this is a powered driver's seat, a manual passenger seat. I don't care because this is all driver focused. The passenger just has to sit and do manual adjustment. But the fact that this is a powered seat, even though it's not a memory seat, was a priority for me. If memory is a priority for you, and if having it attached to your profile is a priority, look at the higher trims.
Something that I really disliked when we first drove the Equinox EV, in fact, even when we had the Equinox RS, EV RS, and this one was like, it felt like there was torque steer. And that's, if you're not familiar, a lot of front wheel drives can have torque steer, but I haven't really felt it in EVs because they do a good job of like balancing out the torque coming out of the front motor. And the RS was all-wheel drive, so that was really surprising. I feel it on this one, which is front-wheel drive only, but it's not so bad because it's not a super powerful thing anyways. But I did get used to it very quickly, so I dislike that. But it is just something to note. And if you're coming from a front-wheel drive car, you probably won't think anything of it. But just coming from other EVs, I was like, oh, I don't like this at all.
And I had no experience with torque steer, so I think you should describe it a bit. Because for me, my first time experiencing it was in this vehicle. I turned right onto a road and then kind of gunned it, and you kind of like feel it pulling.
It pulls left.
Yeah, it pulls left, like quite a lot. And me having my previous vehicle was a 98 RAV4 for 17 years, all-wheel drive. So I had, well, that thing was kind of an old wreck, but I had no experience with torque steer. So would you say that that's what it feels like?
Yeah, so if you don't know what torque steer is, it's sort of like if I were on a straight road and didn't really hold the steering wheel, or held it really lightly, and if there's no torque steer, I hit the gas pedal and it feels like it's just going straight. With torque steer, it feels like if you start off slowly, you don't really feel it. But if you start off quickly, it pulls to one direction or the other. So it feels like it pulls to the left slightly. And it was in both of the Equinox EV that we've tested. So,
but this one worse.
Just because it's front wheel drive only.
Yeah.
So, but it's not a super huge, powerful front motor, so it's fine. You do get used to it really quickly, but it's just something that I disliked in the beginning. If you're getting ready to go test drive one of these, again, go check out our what we love about the Equinox EV. We still love it. We still would buy it again, but that is a dislike.
Yeah.
And we just sort of wanted you to be aware, so you don't get into it and go like, why didn't they mention that? Well, we mentioned it. So, and then we'll just sort of go like that because you can see the back seats back there. We don't really care about back seats because we drive in the front.
Yeah, in all honesty, we could have ended up in a smaller vehicle. Prioritizing the rear passengers is not a big deal for us because we are, for the most part, the two of us in a vehicle. If you are someone who will often have people in the back, always sit in the back of every vehicle, test it out. It's something we try to do in press loans and remember to do because not each rear seating is the same. And I personally find the rear seats on the Equinox, that base, that black band there, right where is it ISOFIX? Is that what it's called?
Yeah, it's the child seat anchors.
Fixation. It's very hard and prominent. So just have a little sit there. We did have our friend Matt in the back of the RS with us for like an hour and a half drive, and he was fine. But I do find that to be quite hard.
He said the seats were firm. I thought they were firm as well in the short times I've spent in the back. Usually like when Liv's driving her dad and I get in the back.
Very nice.
So yeah, they are a bit firm. So again, it's like I really care about 5% about that. But if you have a lot of people that are going to be riding back there that will complain about those type of things, just check it out. And it's something that we forget to do even when we have a car for a week and we're testing it out, is to test the back seats for how they feel. But if you're going to go test drive this car or any car, check out the back seats. And then like our last thing, I'm going to do a flippity flip for this because Liv can explain this one.
You're just rolling and I can't remember what we're talking about.
The screech.
Oh, okay. So this is weird. this is very weird, and it happened over a period of 4 months, maybe.
Yep.
Is that it started screeching, and we have a lot of video of this, but this area right here, a screech began to emanate with quite frequently. So initially it was like it was 3 times in a drive. So we'd go driving for like 20 minutes and it would screech a couple times. And we'd think like, oh, we got to go in, we got to take it into service. And then like the next time, maybe it would only screech once. See, we're just getting texts on Patrick's phone, not my phone. But then all of a sudden the screeching started to happen more frequently. And this was around a time that we could not take it into the shop. And this sort of ties into the frustration with OnStar, because the screeching was happening in this area. So I tried to talk to OnStar, but because we don't have a service, I could not actually talk to them. But the screeching was coming from here. So the screeching.
Before we go further, let's play a little clip of that right now. And so you can see, like, I mean, you could hear it, but we couldn't tell where it was coming from exactly. And I think the biggest thing, like Liv was saying, is like some rides we would have it, and then some we wouldn't have it at all. So that was the hardest part. And then
it suddenly started happening every 10 seconds.
So, and I feel like we're going to jinx it. And on the drive home, we're going to have screeching. So in May, we went to Denver and we left the car at the airport. So we drove, the airport's like 45 miles from here.
And I had driven it the day before, just a short drive. And I was like, hey, Patrick, it's screeching a lot, just so you know. But I just did it for like a 10-minute drive.
And we didn't think much of it. We're like, okay, when we get back, we have an appointment scheduled, but we want to take the Equinox and leave the Equinox at the airport because we're only going for like a couple of days. We generally try to get a ride, long story short. Anyways, never mind. But on the way there, we almost even turned around because it was like before we could get like 10 miles from the house, it was like screeching so often. And then...
And I'm hoping we have video of that. I think so.
I think we have it at a different time. So then we went to Denver. We left the car at the airport. On the way back, it screeched, I think, once or twice, again, like 45 miles from the airport. And then I don't think it's done it since then.
It hasn't, and we're scared.
So now, yeah, I know. And it's just sort of like, we're under warranty. We know we could get an appointment actually relatively quickly, which is a good thing. Sometimes, like a couple of years ago, it was like, yes, you can get an appointment in 4 weeks. This is like, it's very easy to get an appointment around here. But anyways, like, yeah, I feel like just because we said it, it's going to screech on the way home. And it's just so random that it was almost like good when it was doing it often, because then you're like, okay, it's going to do it. But then it would be like other times it would like driving for like 25 minutes and then it would screech and I'm like, what the heck? And then...
And I'm very jumpy. I'm a very jumpy person. So that was a scary thing for me.
And we had different theories. It was like, it was because I was driving and I was driving too fast, or...
That was your theory.
Then it was like, is it the temperature? Like, is it cold? So it could be, we are in the summer, like maybe it's warmed up and there's something different.
There's an Equinox forum, by the way. It's great. There's a lot of really good participation and great members. I did, of course, ask in the Equinox forum if other people had experienced it, and no one had that responded to me. So if any of you have experienced anything like that in a Chevy vehicle or in an Equinox EV, let us know down below, or even if you've experienced it in another car, because I just think it's good to share the stuff. If you have an Equinox EV and you're looking for a good community, the Equinox EV forum is super great. And hopefully you guys don't experience that crazy screeching, because hopefully we don't again.
I think that's about it. We're going to hop out, wrap up this video with our one last dislike, and then we'll be done. So,
final thing that I'd say we dislike about this vehicle has to do with the size. It's quite large. Now, if you've watched us at all, you might know that I like small vehicles. I had a huge crush on the Bolt EV, love the Mini Countryman. Small vehicles are my jam. So this is not a small vehicle. In fact, it's actually quite a large vehicle, isn't it?
Yeah, it was funny because like we did a little bit of like Mach-E and Equinox when we first got it. And people were like, you shouldn't compare the Mach-E to the Equinox. You should compare it to the Blazer because that's more of the right size. But this is actually bigger than the Mach-E, which longer.
Yeah.
So there's like, it's very, very close, which was surprising to us. So Liv sort of like dislikes it because it's a bigger car, but she feels very comfortable. If you watched our what we love about it, Liv loves it because it's actually very easy to drive. But we're sort of like, darn it, we were looking for a smaller EV. There just aren't any out there. So it's not a knock against the Equinox.
No.
It's just the fact that there's no small, they got rid of the Bolt, which is coming back.
Yeah.
But we would love a EV3 or something like that.
Yeah, I still love smaller vehicles. I don't feel like I need this amount of heft behind me. And why don't we step a little closer, shall we? There we go. And we'll like squish you guys so the car is in the center. So I just don't need a large vehicle. We don't have a large family. We don't have to haul a lot of stuff. If you like a larger vehicle, then the Equinox is actually really great. There's a ton of trunk space. I just thought of another negative.
Well, what is it? We got your last chance.
My last chance to tell you guys that the one final negative is that there is no frunk.
Oh, yeah.
There's no frunk. So this is not a negative to me personally because the Equinox EV has a ton more space than we were even looking for. Like I was just saying, we don't have a large family. We don't hold a lot of stuff. There's a ton of room for us. But if you like a frunk, then you don't have that in this. So that is a dislike or something we don't love that you should be aware of because it's something that a lot of EVs have, and it's kind of a bummer this doesn't.
Yeah, it is. And we don't use the frunk in our Mach-E a lot, but actually we do all the time because that's where I keep my Tesla adapter and like the tire inflator, charging cable. So it's sort of like those type of things. I don't use it, but they're always there. So that's what I would do with this one. Instead, I don't carry a charger with this, and the tire inflator and the jump starter and Tesla adapter are just in the back, just wherever I can find space. It'd be nice to just have it in the front.
Yeah, and we have a big accordion style storage bin that we've had since OG days with the Mach-E. That lives in the Equinox EV because not having a frunk, now we have somewhere to put groceries and the NAX adapters and all those little things that you want in one place. So because we don't often fill up the trunk, that's not a big deal. But that's definitely a negative to be aware of. Now, I will say, and I gotta say a positive again, I'm sorry, but like Patrick was saying, even though this is a big vehicle and I like small vehicles, it really does maneuver well. It maneuvers like a smaller vehicle. On this trim, the 360 camera is super helpful. So I do encourage you guys to check out our other videos about the Equinox EV. We have a couple from when we got it. And then we also obviously have the one filled with loves, filled with all the things that we love about our Equinox EV. So there's a lot to love about it. And either way, there you go. You should be aware of all the things because we're not trying to influence you. We're trying to educate you and share our experiences with this. So if yours differ to our experiences, share them down below because then you can help educate us, educate others. It's all about sharing information, isn't it?
Yep. Yeah, and that's sort of it, is cars are very personal. I mean, that's why they sell them in different colors, right? Otherwise, we'd get all black, as Ford did with the Model T. So yeah, it is a very personal thing. Some of the things that we hate, you probably like. So yeah, but thank you guys for watching this video. Hopefully you watched the What We Love video and our other Equinox videos and our other Mach-E videos and our like EV Charging 101 videos. But thank you in particular for watching this video. Of course, thank you to our Patreon members whose names are scrolling across the bottom. These people, like, give a shout out to them, like thank them because some of them have been supporting us for close to 5 years now, which is insane.
Not that long. Whoa.
Well, we've been on YouTube. We just hit our 5-year point being on YouTube with Mach-E vlog. So they've been around a while. Our YouTube members have been around a while as well, supporting us on a monthly basis. So thank you to them as well. But even thank you to our subscribers and anybody that just hits the like button or the watch button. we appreciate all of you because it makes it worthwhile. We love making videos, but it's sort of like nobody wants to make a video if 20 people watch. So thank you for watching.
Yeah, truly. And we spend all of my vacation time, all of our free time doing this. So thank you guys for joining us for this stuff. And if you watch this far, I want to give you an ice cream. So leave a star and I will give you an ice cream. I will answer you with an ice cream. And I'm saying that because you can get an ice cream because an ice cream truck just drove by while we were filming. And I was like, do we deserve an ice cream?
I'm going to go get an ice cream.
You could go get an ice cream. Right. Wait, should he just go get me an ice cream?
Just
so on that note, thank you so much for joining us for this video in which we told you all the things that we don't love about our Equinox EV. And just remember that whatever you drive, whether it's near an ice cream truck or not,
ice cream.
enjoy the ride. Bye.